Good day, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this session of interpersonal communication, I would like to share or discuss about interpersonal communication, focusing on couples or spouses in household, between father and the mother. Okay, but before we further discussing about the father and the mother, I would like to refresh our comprehension on family. What is a family? According to the material that I gather from Ibu Suciati's books, family is a system that consists of individuals that interact, socialize, and organize together. And a family is the environment that we learn to communicate for the first time. Family also identified as a group of people who have close relationship within the inner circle. And a family develops sense of household and group identity. Usually is taking over the father's name, yeah. Family of Bapak ABCD, a family of Bapak DFG, something like that, yeah. And family usually has strong bonds about loyalty and emotions, yeah. They share a certain kind of emotion that would be identified as sense of belonging. And the last one is family has experienced the past and they have certain anticipation of the future together as a family. Generally, family has 5 basic functions. The first function is to reproduction or to maintain the linearity of your family. Yeah. The second function is socialization or education. Could be done by transferring knowledge from the older generation to the younger generation. The third one is assignment of social roles. Family would customize, ya, membiasakan, customize you with certain roles that you will be faced outside the family circle. Yeah? For you to become student in your school, for you to become the professional worker in your working environment, etc. The fourth is economic support. Uh, that's when we're a kid, yeah, still in elementary school, for example. Sometimes we accept certain amount of pocket money, yeah, that would be also identified as economic support. And another support that will be given out by family is the emotional support to enrich and nurture the soul. Your parents are struggling, yeah, to form you as kind, generous person, to prepare you in the future while you are interacting with someone outside your familial circle. Yeah. The main purpose of the communication within the family first is to contribute to self-concept. Yeah. So the communication style that has been practiced or shown by your parents eventually will affect your self-concept. This could be also understood as personality. Yeah. For example, your parents teach you to communicate freely, openly. Yeah? This will form you to become an honest person or a realist. The second purpose of family communication is to create exemplary model. Yeah? So your parents usually teach you something by showing it first, how it's done, how to conduct something appropriately. The third is to provide necessary support and recognition. Support I've mentioned earlier is the financial or economic support and also emotional support, yeah, to accept the condition of their children comprehensively, yeah, and to also gives out recognition. If the children has successfully managed to do something, the parents will gives out certain rewards. This would be considered as a recognition or appreciation. From the family context, I would like to focusing on these two very important person, mom and dad. Yeah. First of all, I would like to share about this certain study, yeah, study on brain and anatomical differences that would differ the general mindset on female and male, also known as neuroscience of sex difference. The first is determined by the anatomical difference between the male and the female brain. Basically, the male brain is heavier than the female brain, yeah. And from the volume itself, the male brain is 10% larger than female brains. From the volume or capacity, the man's head also about 2% bigger than the woman's head. And on early development, boy's brain usually about 12 to 20% larger than girl's brain, yeah. And the head circumference, lingkar kepala, of boys also 2% larger than girls. And these anatomical difference shows us that the male brain and the female brain also has certain differences regarding on their structure. Men have 14 larger brain regions, and each regions are varied in their volume. Yeah, compared to women, the women only have 10 larger brain regions that shows consistency of volume in each region. So it's the same volume. Yeah? Compared to men, the 14 areas of their brain has varied volume. From the structure anatomically, it also determines the capability or competencies of female and male. Most neurons in female brains are wired, ya, terhubung, regulates, mengatur communication and emotion. While the male brain, usually the most neurons are linked to the areas that regulates sex drive and aggression. Female brain has larger prefrontal cortex. This area is regulating self-control. Those why female are more patient. Compared to the male brains, it has smaller amygdala. Amygdala is function to regulate fear and aggression. Those why Men are tend to engage in physical activities or activities with physical risk. On female brain, based on the brain anatomy itself, women are superior in identifying details and abstract matters such as emotion. Women has no difficulties in describing emotions or taste or smell or color or ambience. Yeah. Compared to male brains, based on its anatomy, men are identified superior in recognizing physical or visible matters, usually the measurable one. For example, time, space, volume, length, distance, etc. And we're continuing to discuss that those difference on the female and male brain sometimes could also inflicted problems in spouses' interpersonal communication. While women are regulates to link with communication and emotion, sometimes women are bombarding their partners. Yeah, they talk too much or ask too much. Yeah, and sometimes the male or the female, the women or the men are forgetting to give their partners chance to give feedback, to retaliate, or to respond in appropriate manner. And the second problem is will be founded if each partners have no interaction within one to another. Yeah, they also develop some kind of a prejudice or prejudice. It is an assumption, whether it is a correct or wrong. Usually self-judgmental. Yeah, so we put our perspective to valued others. Yeah. This would be unacceptable. The problems also occur when spouses didn't listen nor paying attention to each other. And this will be also become a problem if one of them or each of them are insist on opinion without letting or reconsidering or considering others' opinion. The last problem would be shut-in. Shut-in will happen if you process your emotion, your ideas, your concern within yourself and not share it with your partner. So you shut yourself in now. You process everything internally, and this would damage you physically, emotionally. Sometimes it could also affect on exhaustion, capek, yeah, known as burnt out, yeah, uh, physically, emotionally drained. Okay. Uh, Next, beside these slides, I would like to share some marital quotes. Yeah, it would be quite helpful for you in the future once you are involved in marital status. Yeah. And every interaction with your partner is an opportunity to give positive vibes or negative vibes. The positive one is to build them up, encourage them, the negative vibes to knock them down. So choose wisely. From Ibu Suciati's book, I would like to resume some of the spouse's communication style. The first style is the controlling style. It has a negative impact. It happens where the partners are unwilling to listen the other's opinion. The second style is the conventional style. It's sort of old school, when the partners has no open discussion, so they keep certain things to themselves, maybe most of the things to themselves, and not discussing it. That would be fatal. The third one is the speculative style. It's balanced style, but unpractical because it's time consuming, where the partners is accepting and value each other's ideas and opinion. So they tend to explore one another. The last style is the full contact style. It's the balanced style, but it is quite practical, where the partners listens to each other and respects each other's opinion. And sometimes the partners are agree to disagree because they realize differences are present among them. Communication is two-way street, so we need to check or make sure that we listen as much as we talk. The next one is the factors that affecting the balance of spouses' communication. The first is intimacy. So in order to have balanced communication, we need to make sure that our partner's affection need is fulfilled. We channel our positive energy, our nurturing energy to our partners. That would be the fulfillment of affection. We make sure that they're okay. We make sure that they're not sick. They're healthy and happy. The second factor is control. It's inherent reality, realita yang memang harus ada dalam interaksi sosial. This control should be managed with consensual understanding, consensual comprehension within each other. So we need to balance the control, not droop to the one side. Jadi kontrol ini harus di manage supaya bisa menemukan dua pihak yang berbeda secara proper, tanpa salah satu mendominasi atau salah satu menjadi inferior. The third one is the appropriate response. It could be formed as a confirmation or disconfirmation, agree or disagree. It functions to strengthen communication and interaction. Jadi feedback imbal balik komunikasi itu perlu supaya masing-masing anggota dari pasangan ini merasa dihargai dan diapresiasi. We also need to maintain the correct tone to enunciate what we're feeling. Jadi intonasi yang sesuai untuk mengutarakan apa yang kita rasakan. So we need to make sure that we done the emotional balancing. Jadi kalau yang satu lagi upset, lagi marah atau jengkel, yang lain harus mengimbangi dengan memberikan respon yang sesuai, berbicara dengan intonasi yang tepat, tidak mendominasi ya. Jadi kalau yang satu sedang berapi-api, sebaiknya yang satu memberikan respon yang menyejukkan. Begitu juga sebaliknya. And what I have here is the tips that can improve effective communication in marriage and family life. So first of all, the couples need to make time to talk to each other. And in this session of talk to each other, they need to listen more. They need to talk with clarity. Yeah. So they can understand what is really happening to one another. Sometimes we also have downsides or the unhappiness, the unsatisfaction in the relationship between couples or spouses here. We need to communicate it with love, communicate it in a positive way. We also need to affirm each other feelings by giving compliments. Yeah. You look nice today. Your dishes is delicious. You look different, good different. You seem happy. Simple compliments. And the last one is to be receptive or sensitive. We need to sense our partner's feeling, our partner's imbalance by paying attention to them. And this would be the last explanation in this session. Spouses interaction in Islamic perspective. I resumed it from Ibu Suciati's book that quoting hadis riwayat Tirmizi, the servant of the most perfect faith are the most considerate in attitude, and the best of you is the most kind to his wife. Jadi ada beberapa hal yang perlu diperhatikan di sini. Jadi hamba yang sempurna imannya adalah orang yang paling baik budi pekertinya. Di antara orang-orang terbaik ini ada orang-orang yang lebih baik, atau bisa dibilang lebih superior di mata Tuhan adalah orang yang paling baik terhadap istri. Saya rasa ini berlaku two way, berlaku untuk istri dan untuk suami. Jadi intinya sih, jika nanti Mbak Mas suatu saat telah memiliki pasangan, menikah dan tinggal bersama, membangun keluarga, ya sebaik-baik orang di mata Allah adalah orang yang paling baik terhadap pasangannya. And the last marital quotes, to prepare you for the future. When you get married, you need to unlearn everything you think you know. The first mistake of communication is we think we know everything. That would be fatal. The first thing we need to do to accommodate our ego, our self-justification, is to unlearn the thing that we think we know. And you need to build it with your significant others. In marriage, you need to build it with your spouses. Every day is learning chances, and it will goes on until you decided to end it or end it by the circumstances. Thank you very much for joining me today in this session. That would be all. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera for us all.